In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a map for a credit note. Again, you'll notice on screen we're in the unknown section of Invitbox, and we have on screen a credit note, and you'll see we also have a credit note that's in negative quantities. So there's two different types of credit note you can receive. There is your more traditional credit note in invoice 1 here, which is a positive amount as a credit. So you've got credit and you've got 2,453 as a credit. Or on some rare occasions you can have a credit note and the actual subtotals and totals are actually negative amounts. So what that means is we have to create two maps. Effectively, if you get an invoice or a credit note that has a negative, it's effectively a negative invoice as opposed to a credit note. So what we would do in this scenario, if we were to create a map, we would create a map that's actually like a normal positive invoice map. And because there's negatives beside these totals, we will actually extract the data as a negative amount, so a negative invoice. Now, if we go to invoice number 1 here, and we look at an actual more traditional credit note, which has positive amounts in the bottom, then we need to create a credit note map. So if I hit create map, again our first options here, we've got credit note line item or service. So exactly the same as when you're creating a positive credit note. If there is quantities, codes, descriptions and pricing, we go line items in this scenario, and then we start to map. So if you haven't already watched the video tutorial on how to create an ordinary map, please do so, because this is very much the same. So again, we'll go with the line item header as quantity, first row of line items is 120, and the subtotal is the footer. We then map the credit note numbers. So credit number 536524, credit note issue date, credit date January 8th, 2014, the supplier name, the supplier, the ABN, purchase order number if there was one, so your order number is there, 92727, the original invoice number, so if this was here, so if it says somewhere original invoice number, which I don't think this particular one has it, so that's fine, we'll ignore that. Currency is fine, there is no currency denominator. Then we map the item number, so the item code, the item description, the item quantity. And we map, again, similarly to before, we can either map one of these four values, the item unit price excluding or including, or the line amount excluding or including. So again, I'm going to mark the line amount excluding in this scenario and mark that Y as the field to indicate tax is applicable, and map the tax amount on the line. Now we then move into the footer section. So again, the subtotal 22220, let's just do the tax amount 223, and freight amount, same amount including $11. The credit note total, we'll use pay this as the label, 2453. If I click finish, what you'll notice is that our system, the code actually switches all of the values to negatives. So it's a credit and it's a positive amount, but when we select credit note as the map, you'll notice that that switches all the values. So what you would simply do here is click OK, and that's going to go through to the entry as a negative value. Now, as I mentioned, for the other scenario where it's a positive, if I just cancel out of this for now, and again I'll just cancel back to the screen. So if we bring up this positive credit note number, what I would do is go create map, and I would just keep it as a line item and select all of the values just like we did, click finish, and because there's actually negative quantities already on the invoice, this will still go through to the in tray as a negative quantity.